Hey guys, what's up? I'm Rohit, your host on Intellect Digest, and in this video I'm gonna compare the Motorola Moto G 3rd generation with the Xiaomi Mi 4i. Let's get started. I will start with the design of the phones, and both the phones have their own USPs. While the Xiaomi Mi 4i is super slim, it's very sleek, it's very lightweight, and looks very elegant and classy when it comes to build and construction. On the other hand, Motorola Moto G 3rd generation is kind of a contrast. It is bulky, it's big, it's thick, and feels heavy in hand. But at the same time, it feels dense, nice to hold, feels solid, sturdy, and at the same time, it offers you the water resistance feature that you would not find on the Mi 4i. It is also protected with the Gorilla Glass 3 at front, whereas there is also a Corning OGS solution provided on the Mi 4i. When it comes to build and design, it's really a subjective choice, but if you want sturdiness and water resistance, the Motorola Moto G3 is a better choice. However, if you want sleek, stylish and more sophisticated looking phone, Mi 4i is the one to go with. Next, I'll talk about the display. When it comes to displays, both phones sport a 5-inch display at front, but one on the Mi 4i is a full high definition 1080p display, whereas there is a high definition 720p display on the Moto G 3rd generation. In terms of looks, visual appearance, color quality, both displays are good in quality, but I find that the Mi 4i display is more immersive, has better color gamut and looks much more impressive with a 441 pixel per inch density compared to a 294, which is much lower on the Moto G3. In terms of display department, the Mi 4i is a clear winner. Talking about the SIM card options, both phones are dual SIM phones and they support 4G on either of the SIM cards. But when it comes to expandable memory, there is no memory expansion on Mi 4i, whereas there is a memory card slot on the Moto G3 which allows you to expand the memory by up to 32 GB. Both come with 16 GB of internal memory, but you don't have any memory expansion on the Mi 4i compared to you have a microSD card slot on the Moto G3, which is an advantage. Talking about the audio quality, the front firing bottom speaker on the Moto G3 is much louder compared to what you have on the Mi 4i, which is on the rear in the speaker mesh provided at the bottom of the phone. The quality of audio from earphones is equally good on both the phones. The Mi 4i does not come with bundled earphones, however Moto G3 comes with bundled earphones, but they are very average in quality. Now let's talk about a very key aspect of any smartphone, which is the camera. They both sport a 13 megapixel rear shooter, which is very good on both of the phones. The HDR performance that we tested on both of these phones come out to be slightly better on the Moto G3. The HDR on the Moto G3 is simply stunning and is better, and you can see that in the pictures that you can see on your screen right now, which we have taken with these phones. But when it comes to front-facing cameras, the 5 megapixel front-facing camera on the Mi 4i is a much better camera, coupled with the beauty face algorithm on the Mi 4i compared to the Moto G3. Mi 4i is a much better front-facing shooter. Even against the light shots with the Mi 4i are comparable and in fact better in quality and detailing compared to what you get on Moto G3. Angle of the front-facing lens is also better, so it captures wider pictures and does a overall better performance in front-facing selfies when taken with the Mi 4i compared to Moto G3. So if you are concerned about selfies, Mi 4i is the one to go with. Now let's talk performance and specifications. There is a Snapdragon 615 chipset by Qualcomm on the Mi 4i, whereas there is a Snapdragon 410 chipset found on the Moto G3. While on paper, the Snapdragon 615 is an octa-core chipset, is much faster, but it has its own problems. It has severe heating issues on the Mi 4i compared to the moderately powered 1.4 GHz Moto G3, which does not exhibit any sort of heating issues and does not cross the temperature of 40 degrees in our test. They both come with 2 GB of RAM when it comes to higher variant of the Moto G3. There is also a 1 GB variant, but we are ruling out that one because we are considering only top of the line variants of these phones, which come at almost the same price. In terms of benchmark numbers, there is also a great difference where the Mi 4i performs much better compared to the Moto G3, but at the same time there is not much of a difference in real life performance, and there are two reasons for that. The Snapdragon 615 heats up more, so it throttles the performance of the device when it gets hot. Whereas on the other hand side, the 1.4 GHz quad-core CPU does not face any sort of throttling. And on the other hand, there is also a 720p display which is much lower in resolution, so the GPU has to make a much lesser effort on the Moto G3 compared to what it has to do with the Mi 4i. When it comes to gaming performance, you will find that both these phones, beside having different specifications, come very close when it comes to gaming experience, and they both offer good gaming performance. Talking about USB OTG support, they both support USB OTG pen drives, which is a good thing. But when it comes to SD card and moving applications to SD card, you do not have an SD card slot on the Mi 4i, so there is no question of moving apps to SD card. Whereas you can move your apps to SD card on the Moto G3. Now let's talk about another very important aspect, that is the software. The Moto G3 comes with nearly stock Android experience. It comes with latest Android OS. Whereas on the Mi 4i, you get the Android L or Android 5.0. It comes with MIUI version 6 from Xiaomi, and MIUI 7 is around the corner when we are making this video. You get a very customizable, very powerful experience on the Mi 4i. It gives you a lot of customizations compared to the stock Android experience. So if you are someone who appreciates simplicity and improvement in performance, you should go for Moto G3. But if you are someone who appreciates features over performance and simplicity, the MIUI is the software to go with. Next, I'll talk about battery. There is a 3120 mAh battery on the Mi 4i, whereas there is a 2470 mAh battery on the Moto G 3rd generation. But when it comes to real life battery life, they are very close. The reason being that there is a much less powerful chipset here. Also, the display resolution is lower. Also, the optimization because of stock Android is better on the Moto G3. So even with a larger battery, you can expect a similar battery life from both of these phones, which should be around 1 to 1.5 days if you're a moderate user. And last but not the least, let's talk about value for money. Both phones offer great value for money. They are both priced at 13,000 rupees and they offer very good features and specifications for that price. If you have to pick one between these two phones, I would suggest you to pick Moto G3 if you are looking for strength, sturdiness and water resistance feature. And I would recommend you to pick the Mi 4i if you are looking for a sleeker device which is more sophisticated, has better set of cameras and is more appealing when it comes to looks and performance. However, with the Mi 4i, you will miss out on expandable memory and water resistance feature and the strength that Motorola Moto G3 offers you. But both phones offer great value in their respective feature sets. If you want to pick up either of these, I'm leaving direct links in the description section below where you can buy them from the best price. It really helps the channel if you buy them from our link. This is all we have on this comparison. I hope we helped you figuring out which one you want to buy. If we helped you, don't forget to give us a thumbs up by pressing the like button below, and for more such videos, make sure you hit the red subscribe button. I hope to see you on my next video. This is your host Rohit Khurana signing off. Thanks for watching.